Right guys, welcome back to the Danger Pit. It's November, it's not freezing yet, so in true British style, I've got the smoker out. Let's do some belly pork. Come and have a look at this. Got some delicious Yorkshire reared belly pork here. Got some silver birch. Got a fire going. Let's do this. God, it's a beautiful day to say that it's November. It should be freezing, but anyway, let's talk about what we're going to do today. So, I wanted to do some barbecue, but I wanted to do something really British, and I really wanted to give it just a nice British English twist. So, went to my butcher's, got some pork belly. Now this pork belly that I've got here is the picnic end of the pork belly, which is the back end of the pig. Now all I'm doing with this pork belly is I'm just taking my knife, tidying it up a little bit, taking in the fat so it's not too thick. I want a little bit of fat on there because that's what's going to render down. It's going to make some tasty chewy bark on the top, but I want just a little bit there. So I shave it back to around about 1/2 inch. I then take my knife, score crisscrosses across the surface of the fat and the surface of the meat. These areas where I've crisscrossed are going to get the majority of the heat, so they're going to crisp up, so I'm going to get some nice crispy bark on the top, and the fat's going to render out. So when I was looking around my kitchen and looking for some good British flavours, I was thinking, what have I got that goes nice with pork? And so I've decided to go with just a classic salt and pepper, always mill your own pepper, hashtag black pepper mafia. I took some garlic cloves, peeled them, sliced them, cut them in half down the middle, and you see me here peeling out the green part at the centre. Now this is the germ of the garlic. This adds a bitter taste, whereas the white flesh of the garlic will add a nice sweet taste, and especially over a long cook of about 4 or 5 hours, it'll render down really nicely with the fat, and we'll get lovely little sweet garlic bombs throughout the meat. All I'm doing is I'm just taking my paring knife, stabbing a little hole inside the meat, and then pushing the garlic inside to protect it while it cooks, but it's going to impart all of its garlicky flavour into the meat around it. Now the cloves are a little bit of a gamble. Now I know pork and clove work nicely together, but I've never smoked cloves before. So I'm doing a little control group here. I've cut my pork belly down into 2 strips. One half I'm going to do with just the garlic and the rub, one half I'm going to add the cloves into as well. All I've done is I've used my paring knife, stabbed a couple of little holes in, pushed the cloves inside, and then when it's finished cooking, before I serve it, I'll pull those cloves out because they'll still be quite hard and tough and won't be tasty. So for a slather today, all I'm using is just a touch of olive oil, drizzle it across the meat, rub it in, turn it over, rub it in both sides. This means my salt and pepper rub is going to stick. All I do is just give it a little sprinkle and then we're ready for the pit. Oh. Let's talk about the wood that we're cooking with today, because this is what's exciting. So today we're using silver birch. Now I mentioned I wanted to do some British barbecue. Now silver birch is a native European species and it's very similar to maple, or so I'm told. Hold on, let's have a little close up. Boy. Now silver birch is a species of tree native to Europe, particularly here in the UK. I've got silver birch trees growing all up my street. Have done everywhere I've lived. Now, I've never cooked with maple before, but I can confirm, having cooked with this before, that silver birch makes a really nice, really clean, sweet smoke. Burns not super hot, nice and steady, good steady temperatures. I really like this. I've really enjoyed cooking with the silver birch, and so I reckon having my sweet pork with my nice earthy British flavours and a nice sweet wood is going to make some tasty barbecue. So apple butter isn't really a thing in England. Now we can buy apple sauce, which is fine, but I really like apple butter, so I'm going to show you guys how to make some real quick. Super simple. All you need is about 6 apples, chop them up, take out the core, take out the pips, cut off any bits that are looking a bit gross, throw them in a pan with some water, some apple cider vinegar, some brown sugar, and then leave them to simmer for about 3 or 4 hours. So once the apples have had a chance to simmer for about half an hour, I drop in some cloves, some star anise, I squeeze up a couple of lemons, and that's it. I leave it to sit for a couple of hours. I want this to be nice and thick and gloopy. Doesn't matter if it finishes before the pork does, just let it sit. Gotta make sure you pick these out when you're done with them. Otherwise you're gonna have a little crunchy surprise when you're enjoying your apple butter. So I'm going to run my smoker today around about 275 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I've tried doing a similar recipe to this before, running at 275 to 250, but I found that while it cooked and while it was nice and juicy, my fat didn't go crispy, it didn't quite render the way that I wanted it to, so I'm going to push those temperatures a little harder, maybe go as high as 310, My thinking being by having the fat scored across the top and running hotter, those thicker bits of fat are going to render down and it's going to go nice and crispy, and I'm getting to get a nice crispy crunchy bark. So the mop that I'm using today is a little bit of black pepper vodka mixed with some golden syrup and let down just a little bit with some water. So it's going to be quite thick, quite sugary, and quite intense tasting, very strong. I think it's going to complement the pork really nicely and give it a lovely sweet finish when it's ready to come off. This will incorporate, you've just got to give it a bit of persuasion. About 2 hours into the cook, and I can definitely feel rain. Damn it! Damn it! Alright. We try and move this lit fire into the shelter. I need both hands. Couldn't just wait another couple of hours, could it? So the garage is hardly the most exciting place to be filming from today, but the sound of the rain on the tin roof, it's very relaxing. 6 hours, this took longer than I thought. I think my wife might be mad at me. So here we go, we can see all of this fat rendered out. I can see the garlic's caramelized with the pork fat as it's come through. This glaze has started to build the bark on the outside, along with the smoke from the silver birchwood. This is looking really good, and this is gonna taste amazing. 7 hours in. Finally cooked. Let's get these inside and rested. And let's get dinner ready. This looks well nice. In fact, now that I've got the camera lady here, if you come close, don't know how well this is shown, I actually dropped a fork in there at the beginning of the cook. I've not been able to get it out, so we've got some smoked cutlery for dinner. Oh, anyway, right.
It's forked.
So these are about 195 degrees. I've given them a good stab. I know they're nice and tendy. We're going to take them inside, let them rest. Yeah, dinner time, let's go. So, drop these bad boys down. Oh, feel how tender they are. Nice, you know, soft and squishy it's all looking. Nice. I'm just gonna put a tent around it. These aren't going in the oven or anything. That's it. We're gonna leave these to rest on the counter for about 10 minutes while we finish cooking our sides, and let's have some dinner. So here's an experiment. Smoked apple. It's just coincidence because I was using it for my temperature probe, but yeah, that's pretty awful. That doesn't work. Yeah! Right, dinner's ready. So, let's take this out the parcel. It's sat here for about 15 minutes, which has given it a chance to come down in temperature. All that moisture is going to stay inside. Let's have a look. Nice, nice, nice. It smells really boozy from the vodka. Nice, nice, nice. So, this is going in the freezer. This is our dinner tonight. So, I just need to pop out the cloves, because I don't want to eat those. Yes, this is really hot. Ow. Yep, cool. I think that's all of them. The issue is they kind of all look, nope, there's one. They look a little bit like just bark. Right, nice. Oh, look at that. It's rendered down, it's ready to fall apart there. Lovely. Right, so here's the moment of truth. We're going to give this a slice, have a taste, and then get it plated up with dinner. How are we looking? Nice, nice. So there's the garlic that have been pressed inside there. So that should add a nice bit of flavour to it. Right, let's have a go. 7 hours. Silver birch. salt and pepper, black pepper vodka. Let's have a go. It's for you. Cheers. Oh, it's lovely. Amazing. Right. Let's get this plated and let's have dinner. Oh. And this was super easy as well. Anyone could do this at home. Like we did today. I mean, it's British. It's got to have chips.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Carrots look like little sausages.
You want sorry?
I feel like the title's misleading then. Apple butter.
Yeah, I know, right? I want to try and make something really British. Here's something we don't get in England, but I just like.